Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you ready for Psalms 83 war? Or maybe it's Gog and Magog. Well, let's hope it's none of that. But it's getting crazy now, okay? So Iran has seized another vessel in the Straits of Hormuz there in the Persian Gulf. They say it's because this ship was allegedly smuggling diesel and was trying to get it to the United Arab Emirates. What? What are you talking about? Iran's Revolutionary Guard has seized a vessel in the Gulf for allegedly smuggling 250,000 liters of diesel fuel to the United Arab Emirates, according to Iran's semi-official news agency, ISNA. Now, it was detained near Iran's Greater Tum Island in the Persian Gulf. The crew had been handed over to illegal authorities and without elaborating on the nationalities of the crewmen. Matter of fact, the reported seizure coincided with a raised international tensions following a weekend attack on major oil installations in Saudi Arabia. We all know Iran did it. Yet Iran says they didn't do it. Now, the Houthis tried to claim they did it, and of course, they worked for Iran. And the information, the intel we're getting is that the Houthis may have used about 10 drones out of Yemen, but that Iran fired 13 missiles out of Iraq and maybe 10 drones out of Iraq to sabotage this coordinated effort to really sabotage the Saudi Arabian oil production. Now, the reported seizure of this ship, though, coincides with all of this tension happening at the same time on the eve of Israel's election. Are you serious? Something biblical is definitely going on here, folks, with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Iran, which has some of the world's cheapest fuel prices, owing to heavy subsidies and the fact that the fall of its national currency has been fighting rampant fuel smuggling by land to the neighboring countries and by sea to the Gulf Arab states. Iran stepped up its fight against smuggling fuel this month when its Coast Guard seized a vessel for allegedly smuggling fuel into the Gulf and detained its 12 Filipino crew members. But in July, Iran seized a British oil tanker near the Straits of Hormuz that allegedly was a marine violation, and 2 weeks after the British forces detained an Iranian tanker near the Straits of Gibraltar off the coast of Spain. So look, it's all getting ugly. It's all getting worse. Now we have the attack on Saudi Arabia, and Iran has seized a ship. And we can't even find out whose ship it is right now. And while that's going on, guess what? Russia's President Vladimir Putin and Turkey's President Erdogan and the Iranian president, the Hassan Rouhani, they all got together for another summit. How many summits are these three going to hold? This is Team Gog and Magog, right out of the pages of the Bible. These are three of the 5 nations, the 3 main nations that are going to fight against Israel in the great battle of Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38 and 39. This trilateral summit to focus on ensuring required conditions for voluntary return of refugees, said Turkish President Erdogan. Matter of fact, Turkey's president who hosted his Russian and Iranian counterparts in the capital of Turkey to discuss developments in the war-torn nation of Syria. But why don't they ever invite Syria? Why doesn't Assad ever show up? I mean, this guy, you talk about a puppet on a string. Assad has never been... I was right when I said Assad would fall in 2013. He did. This guy is out of power. He's been out of power for 6 years. Him and his wife and family live in an underground bunker for 6 years. Putin's been running Syria for 6 years, and he's allowed the Iranians to run around with all their rebel forces, and he's allowed the Al Qaeda and ISIS beheading and chopping people, and the United States under the Obama administration sat there and watched it all. And don't get mad at me. That's not my words. That's the words of the former Secretary of State, John F. Kerry. But now here we are now where there's been slaughter of the innocent all over Syria. Now we don't know what we're doing. Now Iran keeps ratcheting up the attacks on ships, on Saudi Arabian pipelines. What is the President of the United States going to do? He says he doesn't want war. He wants a meeting with Hassan Rouhani. But Hassan Rouhani said today in this trilateral summit in Turkey, there will be no meeting in New York at the United Nations General Assembly with President Donald Trump. Well, we'll see. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll see what happens in the Israeli election, because if Netanyahu wins, which he's expected to win by a landslide, can he get a government to form? And if he can't, then now you got to look at the 108-year-old former rabbi who died, Yitzhak Kaduri, who prophesied that when the government, when there is no government, when they elect a leader without a government, twice, that the soon revealing of the Messiah will come. And of course, Jared Kushner's been working on the peace deal. And where's that at? Especially when Trump declared that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, undivided, took that off the table. Then Trump said that the Golan Heights belongs to the sovereign property of Israel, takes that off the table. They're even building a brand new settlement up there called the Trump Estates, or the Trump Heights, I think it's called. And now Netanyahu is taking and saying that the whole Jordan Valley belongs to Israel. He's taking that off the table. And maybe all of Judea, where the Jews live in all these settlements, about 1 million people, he'll take that off the table. That don't leave a lot left, folks. But the businessmen, both Arabic, Jewish, are already talking about how to build a brand new infrastructure in the West Bank, town of Ramallah, and in the Gaza Strip. So Egypt's involved in that, and United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, and Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, and everybody's in that area is getting involved. So what's going on here? It looks as if we're so close to war, or are we so close to peace? Is it peace and safety? Or is it sudden destruction? And then Trump said today that if he's 100% sure that it is Iran who did this to Saudi Arabia, that he may do a proportionate strike on Iran. But why doesn't Saudi Arabia just take care of their own business? Why do we got to do it for them? And then, of course, Israel's saying, why don't we just take care of business and eliminate Iran completely, since they're the ones causing trouble with threatening Israel every day, shooting at the Saudi Arabians now, hijacking Yemen with the Houthi rebels, basically hijacking Lebanon with the Hezbollah militants, and hijacking the Gaza Strip with Hamas. And then what about the Muslim Brotherhood over on in the Sinai Peninsula, who chant death to Israel every other day? We're in the end times. And then the king of Morocco, Mohammed VI, he wants to be in on the deal, and he wants to be in charge of the Temple Mount, taking it away from King Abdullah II of Jordan. So this is getting very intense. Get ready. Chaos in the Holy Land. I'll be back with more. No show tonight. No live show tonight. I'll be traveling. No show tomorrow at noon. I'll be traveling. But there will be a show live tomorrow night from the Salvation Station in West Lafayette, Indiana at 10 p.m. Eastern. Matter of fact, you might want to come early. Is this Isaiah's Apocalypse? Get your DVD now. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time.